What's going on, everybody? Good morning. It is Monday morning as I begin this. And man, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I don't remember exactly where we left off at. In terms of what's going on with Flip 3, I'm going to definitely update you guys. You already know based upon the title of this, probably. It's Inspection 30 right now. We're getting ready to dive deep into that. There was a video that I had filmed on Friday, but it was only part of a video. So I want to fill you guys in on what's been going on, a couple of things that just want to share with you guys. And then we're going to get right up into this inspection and what did they find. Yeah. Friday, I went and got my booster shot. I did that. And I think that was the extent of everything. I knew that the inspection was taking place on Friday as well for the third offer on the house. The inspection was supposed to take place at 1 o'clock. I was hopeful that I would hear something on Saturday. I didn't hear a damn thing about it on Saturday. All I heard, these damn construction workers. All I heard was after the inspection that supposedly it had gone well, and that was great to hear. You know, especially after everything with the first offer, them pulling out, saying, hey, there was a leak in the attic and an electrical issue. So to hear after the inspection was over with that, hey, everything went well, that was great to know. I would end up over at the Flip House on Saturday to check on things and could definitely tell that this inspector was, thorough. The dishwasher was open. You could see that the crawl space was opened up. They were calling me, asking me where the key for the garage was, so I know that they were up in the garage. That was all I knew. So I didn't hear anything else about that on Saturday. I didn't message anybody. I said, it's the weekend. Let me just wait on this thing. On Sunday, I would message my real estate agent and say, hey, have you heard anything? And they said no. But then it would be Sunday evening. Sometimes I think they just try to make as much noise as they possibly can, just to wake people up. It's 7:45 in the morning. Yeah. I mean, I'm up, but I imagine not everybody on this street might be. I know there's people who work the night shift, and they got to listen to this shit. Nurses and such. Crazy. Anyways, Sunday evening, we would get the home inspection, and I'm trying to think of how I want to explain all of this. So I put some bets in on football, $200 in bets. Now I only had $100 of my own money in this. I was up $100, so I had $200 in total. I lost everything. Lost everything. Took Green Bay to win by 3.5, giving up 3.5. That didn't work. Took Cincinnati and the Browns over 38. Joe Burrows wasn't playing. Nobody was playing yesterday, so I got smoked all the way around the board. Should have known better. Should have known that all of these teams that weren't going anywhere were going to play like it was the Super Bowl. Jacksonville did, knocking off Indy. The Browns did, knocking off Cincy. Detroit did, damn near knocking off Green Bay. So needless to say, I wasn't really feeling all of that. I felt kind of stupid that, I lost like I did, but, it is what it is. I get this home inspection, and at first, I am flabbergasted. I'm pretty pissed off about it, to say the least. I would end up on the phone with my realtors snapping. I had been drinking yesterday, so I told my realtors, too. I said, hey, look, I'm going to let you know I've already been drinking today. And, I ain't trying to hear none of this shit that they talking about with this home inspection. So basically what happened was when they send over the home inspection, they also send over a picker list. I have no idea. That's what they call it. It's called a PIRCA list. I know it stands for something. I don't know what it is. And basically what that is it's a list of things that the potential buyer wants the seller to fix, right? Now, I would imagine that when you submit a list like this, you say, okay, well, they might not fix everything, but you'll hope that they'll at least address some of these things, right? Especially the major things, right? But let me also say this. They could submit this list wanting every single thing addressed on the list. It could be 30 things, right? It could be a lot of things. It could be nothing. I remember doing Flip 2. I think that there were like 6 things in total they wanted addressed. We did all of those things. I remember Flip 1, it was something along them lines. When we sold our primary residence, I can't remember exactly what they had on that. But anyways, on this particular list, let me go ahead and pull this up because I don't know for sure. I need to pull this thing up. I see the picker list before I see the home inspection. And folks, there are 27 things that they want me to fix. 27 things that popped up on this home inspection. Did we fail? Oh my God, Joe, the quality of work that you've done in this house, like, before I even see the home inspection and before I even thoroughly look through this pickers list, I see that it's this many items that they want me to address, and I'm immediately on the phone with my realtors. Hey, yo, tell them right now, I ain't doing nothing. Nothing. Especially after I start looking at the items that they want me to address. So there was that, right? So I'm looking at these items, and let me just share a couple of things real quick before I go knee deep into all of this. A couple of things. Repair damaged roof shingles and ensure correct roofing overhang. Ensure abandoned chimneys are properly sealed to prevent water leakage. Repair or replace damaged siding. Repair loose fascia trim. Repair or replace damaged siding. And basically what they do is there are pictures that accompany each one of these items that they have listed here, right? So for example, it'll say like 1-0, repair damaged roof shingles and ensure correct roofing overhang. Like I said, there's 27 items on this list. I was pissed when I got this, and I was telling my realtors, well, pretty much 3 sheets. I was drunk as fuck yesterday. Telling my realtors I'm not fixing a damn thing. Yeah, that's what I was saying yesterday. But I would end up getting off the phone with them, and then they said, hey, look, Joe, just look over the home inspection and let's see what we can do. So with that, I sobered up. I came to my senses a little bit more. And I want to throw this in here. I'm taking it way too personal. You're right about that. It's only business. You're right about that. These potential home buyers who are in another freaking country right now, they got every right to ask for whatever they want addressed, right? They do. So, can't be mad at them, right? Can I be mad at myself for the quality of work that was done in the house? We'll get to that. Can I be mad at how the inspection went? No, I can't. After going through this home inspection that I'm getting ready to share with you guys, I realized this was as thorough of a home inspection as you could possibly hope for as a buyer and also as a seller. As a seller, I get to know exactly what you found. This was the shakedown with the worst possible correctional officer. Officer Anal? You know, the anal officer, the guy who's going to nitpick and be meticulous about everything. There were things that I didn't think that they would find that they did. And there were things that I thought that they would find, or mention at least, nothing that we were hiding. I mean, the shit was in plain sight. I'll talk about that they didn't even address, which makes me wonder, does that even really need to be done? Or again, are we going back to interpretation of code? It's the opinion of a so-called professional. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this inspector was not a professional. I'm just saying one guy's opinion might differ from another guy's. What one guy might say, another guy might not. My mind was all over the place when I was reading this home inspection, and I had a lot of different thoughts about how I was, one, going to address this in video, knew that I was going to address this in video, and then two, like, you know, how I was going to respond to all of this. One thought that I had was I was going to call this same home inspector back. I was going to pay him the $550 that he charged for this home inspection as the seller to come on over there. Let me make a video about this so that we can discuss your findings. I'm not going to say that you're right or you're wrong. I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I'll say that. And I'm not going to say that I'm right. But I do want to discuss it, right? And we're going to get to all of that. But that was my initial thought. And I said, I can't do that because that would just be really immature and taking things way too personally. And then I thought about, okay, well, if I do address these issues that popped up on this home inspection that this potential buyer is asking me to fix, well, then I'm still going to film all of that. And then maybe I'll share it with the home inspector and see if I can get them on a video to do a reaction with them. When I think about home inspectors nowadays and the way that they look at flip houses, you see it on TikTok with these home inspectors and how they critique the shit out of a house when they know that it's flipped. I feel like that was done in this particular case, but that's not a horrible thing. If you're doing half-ass work, it deserves to be addressed. I've wasted enough time. I mean, not wasted enough. I've gone too far with this long-winded introduction and like there's no justification for none of this. Let's go through this home inspection. How effed up is this house for reals? You be the judge. Let's go through the findings of this home inspection. We're going to go through every single thing that they found. And not every single thing that they found is listed as a wanted repair. So I'm going to try to get this video done as quickly as I can. So I shared that there's 27 things that the potential buyer is wanting me to address. Let's go into the home inspection right now, which is, 81 pages long. We're going to skip over all of the words because half of this home is, okay, actually, pictures begin on page 17. So one of the first things that they were asking me to fix was missing shingles or damaged shingles on the roof and also proper overhang. I want to share with you guys this picture right here that talks about proper overhang of shingles, and it says left side home shingle overhang considered substandard. Look, there's like one missing shingle that they've got a picture of. There it is right there, or two missing shingles right there. That's what they're talking about. I don't know necessarily that I'm going to make those repairs because of these 27 repairs that you're asking me to make, I'm not doing them all. I didn't want to do any of them when I was first seeing this yesterday. So I'm not willing to do all of this. If I don't address a certain thing, are they going to back out of the deal because they've got every right to be able to do so? This is a repair that I don't really think that I'm making. I don't feel like getting up on this roof. I don't feel like paying somebody to get up on this roof. There ain't no roof leak, so I don't really want to make this repair. I don't care. It's just one of them things where I'm just like, I don't know necessarily that I'm doing this one. So that was the roof issue right there. They talked about the chimneys not being capped off correctly to prevent, or they said ensure that the chimneys are capped off correctly to prevent water leakage, I think is the way that they worded it on the picker list, right? But if you see this picture right here, looking at the top of the chimney, it pretty much looks like it's covered. There ain't no leaks coming through the chimney anywhere, not that I've ever seen in that house. So that's another thing that I'm probably gonna say, nah dog, we ain't messing with that. It says abandoned chimneys appear not to be properly sealed. Water entry can occur, causing issues. Recommend correction by a qualified licensed contractor as needed. It's not happening. So that's another thing I'm not addressing. And here's another thing that I gotta mention. You gotta really listen to the way that things are worded in this because they're gonna mention certain things that they say can or could or maybe used to be an issue. And then they're also gonna mention things that maybe are issues. So let's continue on with all of that. So those are the first two things I wanna share with you guys. So they mentioned damaged siding. Right? Replace and repair damaged siding. They asked for that twice, which means that there's two different pictures where they're seeing damaged siding that needs to be repaired. So this first picture that I share with you guys, if I don't make all of these repairs, will they pull out of the deal? Right? And then, I just got to see how this plays out because there's so much that I want to say in relation to all of this. But let's continue. They mention a gap in the siding by the window. He's got a picture of this right here. I really don't know what he's talking about right there. I don't know what's going on there. Here is an example of the loose fascia trim. It's on the front of the house. You can see it right here. I would literally like take a hammer and just beat that right back in. Problem solved. So that was one of the things they were asking for. Yeah, I'll make that repair. Got no issue with that at all. There's another picture of siding that's damaged. I mean, this dude, like I said, he went on everything. And I'm going to show you just how deep this dude went with this inspection. So there's a piece of damaged siding right there. Hey, no problem. We can fix that. Not an issue. We'll make that repair. Loose siding. I always saw that piece of loose siding right there. It's just up at the very top. It just needs to be clipped back in. Nothing major right there. I don't even think they asked for that. Maybe they did, but if they did, we'll fix that. No big deal right there. The corner post on the siding doesn't properly overlap substandard, they said. We didn't mess with none of that. Can I fix that? I'd probably just caulk it. Like, I don't even know that I could overlap it. Maybe we can. Will it pull off from somewhere else, like the top or the bottom? We can look at that and see if we can get that squared away. That's not that big of a deal, even though we didn't mess with that. They're talking about the windows in the kitchen and how there's an opening at the window in the siding. I can see that right there. The silicone, about the only thing that I can tell you we can do to fix that. These windows you can't put J-channel around these windows. They have like this built-on J-channel type of a deal. I hated these windows. But they were the only two windows that we didn't replace in the house, the two kitchen windows. And yeah, that's about the only thing I can think to fix that with. It says window flashing suspect appears inadequate. I can't tell. This is not a window that we did. I think that this is the other kitchen window right here. I think that it is. I'm going to have to go try to hunt this down and figure out where this is. I don't honestly know. If I'm seeing this correctly, it almost looks like there's a piece of flashing tape that's like poking out right there. I don't honestly know what's going on right there, but you know, no big deal. I can't tell if that's a window I can't tell if that's a window that we did or not, or if that's a kitchen window. It looks like it might be the other kitchen window. No idea what's going on with that, but we can figure that out. These are nothing too major. Some more siding damage. This is over on the garage. This is over on the garage. All of these pictures right here are over on the garage. Garage is as is. We're not messing with none of that. So let's go inside of the house with this next picture right here. You're looking at my little transition strip. This is going from the front room to the dining room, whatever you want to call that, living room, sitting room, whatever it is. It says one or more floors have sags, humps, and or dips, but this is not unusual for a home of this age. Possibly this could be linked to other concerns that may be in this report. Spoiler alert, there's nothing about the foundation of this house in this report. But let's keep going. So there was that. You're looking at more shit in the garage. There's the garage door. There's that gap that we talked about where I thought that the garage was broken into. There's more shit in the garage, like I don't care. So here was something else that they mentioned on the picker list. Install shelving for cabinets. Now, the only reason that this guy mentioned this is because in the garage, you've got the leftover shelving, the extra shelving, I call it, in the garage. Like some extra shelving. I left that as a fucking courtesy. I should have just threw it away because that's what I was going to do. And that's the only reason this dude mentions install the shelving, right? Cabinet missing shelving. Now here is a window. This is one of the things that I mentioned earlier that I was like, I didn't think that they would find. So you can see what he's got marked or boxed off in this picture. This is a window, one of the brand new windows that we installed that's in one of them front rooms. I can't remember which window it is. Let me tell you something. These brand new windows, some of these windows that we got look like they were put together so fucked up, just to be honest with you. There's freaking silicone that was just everywhere that we really had to clean up. I don't know if that's because of COVID and the lack of workers or just the lack of giving a fuck during the manufacturing stage of these windows, but some of these windows came to us in piss poor condition. I share that with you, and I don't know if this falls into that category or not, but what he's got boxed off right here is this like safety latch so that you can only open the window like so much. I don't know what you would even call that, but however, when you open this window, when you unlock it and you begin to open it, the window hits the bottom of that safety latch without that safety latch even being open. It's almost like the safety latch isn't in as far as it needs to be. Now, once you realize that's what's going on, when you're opening the window, you got to kind of pull it to open it, just to get it away from that safety latch right there. It's the only window where that issue takes place at, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, yo, they ain't never gonna find this. It is what it is. It's one window that's a little sticky, so to speak. When you're trying to open, they found it. And that right there let me know that this home inspection was as thorough as it was going to be. And it would only continue. So they found that. There ain't nothing I could do about that, to be honest. And then we go back to the kitchen windows, and this is interesting. The only two windows that we didn't replace, they say condensation or staining was visible between multi-pane glass in one or more of the windows. And that was the reason why we replaced all of the windows. I didn't think that these windows had that fogging. I just thought that they were dirty. I didn't see the fogging as much as I guess this guy saw it. So that was something that, or maybe I did, and we were already so deep into I was like, you know what, fuck it. We're not replacing them windows. I don't think that they were nowhere near as bad as the other windows. But this guy, he addressed that. They didn't ask for that on the picker list. Thank God. All right, so moving on. We're going to get to some bigger things that were found. Because you might notice as we're going through this thus far, you might think to yourself, damn, Joe. I mean, so far this don't seem too bad. They ain't really addressing no shit. It don't seem like you did that bad of a job. But did I, though? Did I do a horrible job? We're only on page 36 of 81. One of the things that they mentioned on the picker list was, I thought it said replace joist, something about replace joist properly notched, right? But it didn't say that. It said ensure joist is properly notched. Now I think to myself, boy, joist, you're talking about up under the house, you're talking about properly notched. I'm thinking to myself about all sorts of things. But then when I see the picture, here's what they share right here. It says, this is, and really, as soon as you come through the fucking crawl, you look right there. There's the plumbing main drain line, and it's the clear out right there, right? Where there's the clear out that is, and they notched through this joist for that clear out, right? Now, I don't remember exactly what the most that you can notch into a joist before it becomes like unstructurally sound, if that's the right way to say that. But I think it's like a third or like way less than a third that you can only notch into before you start affecting the integrity of that joist. If you look at this, it's probably about a third, right? I can understand this thing being on the list. Ensure that the joist is properly notched. I don't know. I could YouTube it. I could Google it. Is the joist properly notched? Now, let me tell you what my solution to this would be. I'm just going to scab this. I'm just going to sister another joist right over top of that. That's it. Is this affecting the integrity of this entire house right here? This one thing? It could. I don't necessarily know. But I damn sure will sister a joist right there to it. And hey, boy, because it don't even look like it needs to be notched. It doesn't even look like it needs to be notched right there. So I don't even know why the hell they did that. Maybe they thought that they needed to do that at first. Has nothing to do with me. And most of this shit has nothing to do with me, unfortunately. I know a lot of people are probably hoping that, man, I fucked this house up completely. Well, I guess that's still up for debate because there's still plenty of shit we got to get to, especially the conclusion, the final thought, like Jerry Springer from this home inspector. And he's got a major one as well. You be the judge. All right, so ensure that the joist is properly notched. Here's something right here. It says an example of deteriorated or damaged wood members. I don't know about that right there. Again, this is all old shit, not addressing this concern at all. I'm just not. There ain't shit that I can do right there that looks like that's going to be beyond what I'm willing to do. Okay, let's get up into the attic. Let's have some fun now, folks. Remember, we had a leak in there, said this other alleged supposed home inspector. Well, we go up into the attic, and that guy don't mention nothing about that frickin' KY jelly stain on the floor. But he does mention an area that was way worse. The worser area, if there is one, up in the attic. And it's this area that's near the chimney. Where, remember at first he said cap that chimney because it could cause water damage, right? So we're right here by the chimney. Are these two things coinciding? They're not. But you can be the judge of that. So what he's pointing to right here looks like it could be water damage, right? Looks like it could be water damage. If you look closer, you can see the new sheathing over top of that old roof sheathing, right? The old roof sheathing right there. So let's read what he says about this area that he's pointing to right now that looks horrendous. He says, what appeared to be past water stains were visible on the roof structure at one or more locations in the attic. However, no elevated levels of moisture was observed at accessible areas during the inspection, unless noted in the report. The stains may have been caused by a past leak. Recommend asking the property owner about past leaks. Monitor these areas in the future, especially after heavy rains, to determine if active leaks exist. If leaks are found, recommend that a qualified contractor evaluate and repair as necessary. Do not rely on pictures alone when requesting repairs and or further investigation. Pictures are examples only. And he says, tested as not active at time of inspection, monitor. Well, we just had some heavy rain a couple of days prior to this. We just had a major storm. So if there was a leak, there would still be active signs of high levels of moisture, which of course he said that there were no high levels of moisture found. All right, some other things that he found. The shower head in both bathrooms is loose, coming through the wall. I silicone that. It's still not super tight. I don't necessarily know what to do to make that any tighter. So there's that. And then he says that the downstairs bathroom, when you got the shower on, the spigot, it's got a leak. And he shows a picture of it right here. Not leaking like from behind it, but leaking out of the faucet head, right, when the shower is on. This is like, and I hate to say this, this is a faucet set off of Amazon. I'm not even trying to justify this at all. I don't know. It's not exactly the most expensive faucet set. And really, when you got, I truly believe that if he would have like wiggled that a little bit, you wouldn't have had that issue. Like turn it a little bit. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say. Maybe I'll go check that out when we're doing these repairs, right? But they don't even ask for that in the repairs. So there's that as well. That's how minute that deal is. Okay, here we go. Here's some other shit right here. Crawl space. One or more plumbing pipes needs support. You got a lot of your plumbing, your water lines that basically are just ran, and they are supported. Not everywhere are they supported. And he says inadequate support can cause pipes to leak. Recommend further inspection and correction by a licensed plumber. And he's showing that. Okay, I can see right there where that pipe could be supported to that beam right there. So that could be a thing. I don't know if they asked for that in the report, but I know something that they do ask for, and that's this polybutylene Quest gray piping. They want that replaced, and that's not going to happen. Not doing it. That Quest piping is prominent throughout that house. The plumbing was done back in the 80s, right? I mean, it was, or maybe the 90s. I can't remember. I could see the date one time on those plumbing, on that Quest pipe, and I remember it was old. It was old. We fixed everything that leaked, and there are no leaks. So I'm not going to go in there and redo the entire plumbing in that house. That's not going to happen. Support the plumbing? Sure, why not? Replace the plumbing? Not going to happen. Not going to happen because, well, I hate to share this, but because I think it's kind of a spoiler. Look, there were no plumbing leaks. There were no leaks. So what the fuck am I going to go in there and redo the whole plumbing for? Quest is common in a lot of older houses. Of course, it's the most hated type of plumbing nowadays because he even says in the report, polybutylene, whatever you say about that, has been involved in several major class action settlements prior to 1989. Pipes observed appear to be stage 1 and or stage 2 fittings in one or more areas such as the crawl space. Considered problematic and more likely involved in the class action settlements. Replacement is generally recommended by most, if not all, plumbing contractors. Do you know what it would take to do that? We would have to open up all of the wall. I'm not doing that. And, make no mistake about this. He's not just finding this because this is our house and we did this all so wrong. Oh, Joe, you should have replaced it. You knew it was Quest. Who the hell's going to do that? Nobody's going to do that. Who flips houses? You're not trying to cover up or, take away from. If there's a legitimate issue, absolutely we will correct it within reason. I'm not redoing the whole roof, okay, because we don't have the proper overhang of the shingle. Forget all of that on the one side. He said it was substandard. I'm not replacing all of the plumbing because you say it's more problematic, more likely to cause problems. There's no mention of problems currently. Like, does that make sense? They checked the temperature coming out of the heat, 119 degrees. So that's good. Oh, that was the water temperature, my bad. 119 degrees, hot water is what we had. They mentioned that our gas lines are rusted. This is not an unusual occurrence. Okay, big deal right there. They inspected the electrical, and you know damn well they went knee deep into this electrical. And they did find some electrical issues. They found some electrical issues. Circuit breaker is different brand, not the brand of the manufacturer of the panel. The dead front cover is missing some screws. I think the 2 bottom screws it was missing. And the cover latch is missing and or damaged, does not latch properly is more so what there's just no lock on it. That's all there is to it. And then you can't, when you lift up the latch and it's supposed to slide back and stay up, it doesn't do that. So yeah, it is, I guess, whatever. But we didn't do anything with the electrical, especially in relation to this damn panel box. So there's that. So he's got this picture right here. We're up in the attic right here in relation to the electrical. It says knob and tubing wiring, commonly installed prior to 1950. He's got a picture pointing at this shit. And I don't know what he's trying to say about this, but that wire, he said this system is undergrounded and over time, the wire's insulation may become brittle and fall apart or wear thin. There's no old knob and tubing wire that's connected in that house. He's just seeing that right there. And then this motherfucker's got this listed right here. It says attic tested as not active. So why would you even mention this shit? There ain't no knob and tubing wiring that was found in this house that was active. And I'm starting to get a little heated because we're going to get to some electrical issues that were found that, well, it is what it is. So out in the garage, here's a picture. Non-metallic sheathing cable within 5 feet, like whatever. Whatever he's talking about this wiring in the garage, maybe it's because it's through unfinished walls and there's no protective, whatever. He mentions that. I could care less about that because I'm not doing a damn thing in relation to that. But now we're back in the attic and there's 2 different mentions, I believe, on the picker list of electrical wiring not properly terminated. When I read this, I died yesterday on the phone with my realtor. Oh my God, I was losing my shit. Because I said, and mind you, I'm drunk, and I'm like, because my realtor was like, Joe, you just need to look at the inspection, go over the inspection, look at it, and then, we'll figure it out. I said, if I look at this inspection, and I see that the wires they're talking about that are not properly terminated are wires that I know are not active at all, I'm going to be pissed. And sure as shit, let's go. So I don't even know what this picture is of right here. This jumble of wiring right here, right? But I can guarantee you this shit is not active. Even though there is no mention of whether it is or it isn't. Now mind you, if this motherfucker was live, right? Now, so maybe he didn't test it. Maybe he just took a picture of it. Ooh, there's something I can mention on my report. I don't want to make fun of this dude because I'm glad that he was as thorough as he was. But it does kind of, it will kind of irk you to a certain degree because it makes it look bad, right? Did he get over there? Did he put his little meter on this thing? Did he test this wiring? He sees some wiring. It's not properly terminated. If the wire is not active, because I ain't no fucking licensed electrician, right? And I damn sure ain't no licensed home inspector, even though I feel like I could be. I think I could be. I've seen enough TikTok videos of these motherfuckers dissecting flipped houses, right? But if the wire is not active at all, doesn't that mean that bitch is terminated, right? Properly? Because not properly terminated would mean that thing is live and you ain't got that thing with your little wire nuts on it and a little junction box, right? Because I think to myself, if this is what you're after, right? If this is what you're after, it's not properly terminated. If I go in there and I test that wire and that wire is dead, I'm going to ball that wire up. I'm going to stuff it. Sorry. into a junction box and throw the wire nuts in there with it. Shake it up, put the screws on the top of it, and then I'm going to chuck it. I'm going to chuck it like Justin Herbert. Last night, trying to stay in the playoffs. To the farthest corner of the attic that I possibly can. I'm going to take a picture of it and I'm going to say, properly terminated. Check. Right? I get animated and worked up behind that, not taking it personal, but just to say, come on, man. Like, the fascia is loose. Tap, tap. It's fixed. So many things that are just so minute that they try to make a mountain out of a molehill with. And this isn't the only one that they mentioned. Here's the other wire right here, right? Wire connection needs placing inside of a box with a cover plate. Wire not properly terminated. Obviously, this is in the crawl space. Obviously this is in the crawl space. And, boy, the stories I could tell. Oh, boy, someday we'll have a tell-all. Like the shit that we really went through with this house. Boy, you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. You would be like, damn, Joe, you was a class AAA contractor, boy. I did the motherfucker in here. And I made sure, and that's what another reason I was telling my lawyer last night, drunk as a bitch. I mean, not my lawyer, my lawyer. Jeez, I might need one after a little while. I was telling my real estate agent, I was like, I did all of that work. I know what I got, Wire connection needs to be placed inside of a box with a cover plate. Wire not properly terminated. Holy shit, there's the end of the wire right there. Is that bitch live? He's got that joint circled in red too. He would write underneath of the wire, wire connection not in box, wire not terminated properly, possibly abandoned / or not in use. Just put a fucking tester on it. If it's hot, you know damn well it's a dead wire. When we replaced all of the electrical at flip 1 and flip 2, do you know how much dead wire was just left? Motherfuckers ain't pulling that old wire up out of it. They're just not doing it. That shit is like it's nailed to studs. Like there's no way you're getting all of that old wiring out of there. When you run new wiring, 9 times out of 10, you are leaving the majority of the old wiring right there. At least that's the way that I've seen it done. Joe, that's not the right way to do it. You should get rid of all of the old wiring so that there's no confusion. You're probably right. I've just never seen it done. And I've seen licensed electricians doing this shit. Here's probably one of my biggest blunders. Ooh, 2 big blunders. 2 big blunders right here. And this makes me question, like, should I ever even do flips again? Like, when you miss things like this, you really got to wonder, are you doing the right thing? Are you in the right business? The outlet above the microwave was missing its cover plate. I forgot. I missed that. So we'll go put a cover plate on that. Also, the outside outlet off of the back porch, it's not a GFCI, a weatherproof GFCI in a weatherproof box. I meant to do that. I forgot about that. I don't even know if they mentioned me doing that on the picker list. I don't even think that they did. We'll go through the picker list in a minute. We're almost done with this thing. We got to be, right? But that is a legitimate thing right there. That should have been a GFCI. I should have got to replacing that. I forgot. Maybe I still will. Also, another huge thing that popped up on this picker list, which, again, you got to really pay attention to the wording of the inspection and see, it's not going to be easy for somebody who's out of state or out of the country who's not seeing this house in person to understand what they're saying when you're reading this report. Because one of the things that they mentioned in the picker list, the things that they wanted me to address, was ensure that the laundry room light was properly working. And I'm like, holy shit, what? Man, I did that. Hey, I did all that, a lot of that, so much of that, in fact. And that joint worked perfectly. Outside light worked perfectly as well. I'm like, man, what the hell? 1 or more light fixtures were inoperable / not working properly, didn't turn on when nearby switches were operated, flickered, or missing bulbs, for example. What you mean 1 or more lights didn't turn on when you turn them on? In the picture that he shows, you would imagine if the lights don't work, you're going to have pictures of all of that. You got pictures of everything else, right? In the picture that he shows one light, the laundry room light, missing one light bulb. He said all that bullshit that he said at first, just to be able to include that last little bit saying, or missing a light bulb. You making it seem like this whole fucking, like the electrical is fucked in this house and everything ain't working, right? Recommend further evaluation by replacing bulbs and or consulting with the property owner concerning sensory switches, for example. We'll go over there today. We will test all the lights. That'll be the first thing that we'll do. We'll test all the lights. We'll hit every fucking light switch in that house and you tell me if they working or not. We're going to do that. This video is going to end. We'll have another video going, checking out the house. I do apologize. This video is as long as it is. This was an 81-page report. Hey, we just going through the whole thing. We going through it. But we're almost through it. We're on page 58. Damn, I hope we hurry up and get through this thing. Okay, here's something that definitely needs to be addressed. I don't even know if they mentioned this on the picker list, but with the HVAC, they did not test the AC because when he did the inspection, it was colder than 65 degrees outside. I guess that's just, maybe they don't do that. But he did test the heat. The heat worked fine. He did say, though, the HVAC duct was dirty and in need of cleaning, missing a safety switch. You're looking inside of the heat pump, inside of the air handler up in the attic right there, and all of that dust in there. That definitely needs to be cleaned out. We will definitely make sure that needs to be cleaned out. The vent off of the gas vent is not properly secured. We could put a freaking strap on that and get that joint properly secured. Insulation missing on condensate line. We could do that. No issue with that at all. Sediment trap missing. Insulation missing on duct. We can do that as well. So those are a couple of issues that I got no problem addressing. They're super easy issues. They tested the heat. The heat was 110 degrees, so that was good. They mentioned the condensate line coming down from the HVAC. It just drops right there at the back of the house. That's supposed to run out further, I think 4 feet away from the house, they said, something along them lines. There was a picture of that right there. They also said it's not properly insulated. I think they mentioned that. Yep, they mentioned that as well. There's a picture of some duct underneath of the house that's not properly strapped up. There was that. There was only like one piece of duct that needed that. The attic access, not properly insulated. I guess that needs a piece of weather stripping around it. Never knew that, so that's new to me. There's some little gates on the bottom of the foundation, some little vent areas that just need maybe some chicken wire across them because they're just got the slats in the slits in them. You can see right there, they're just a little too big. Rats could definitely get in through that, so we definitely need to address that. The crawl space access door is just a piece of wood. I love what they say about this. The crawl space access is substandard, a propped up board. Recommend replacing with plastic unit by a qualified person as needed. Well, I can get anybody off Craigslist to do that. I mean, how qualified do you need to be? The gable vent screens up in the attic are missing the screens, so pests can enter through the attic. Here was another thing that was on the picker list that I didn't like. I snapped behind this one, but you know what? It really ain't that big of a deal. They mentioned the dishwasher drain line. Now take a look at this picture right here. I guess this is how your dishwasher drain line is supposed to go. Our dishwasher drain line is, behind the dishwasher, and then it comes through the cabinet on the bottom part of the cabinet, and then it comes up and it ties into the garbage disposal, and that's how it drains out, right? We've tested it. It works. No big deal there. However, the way that the thing is supposed to be, I guess, is your dishwasher drain line goes up. It's hooked the top up to the bottom of the countertop or some shit like that, and then it comes down and then it hooks into the garbage disposal. I guess the reason for that, the rationale is that's supposed to prevent backflow or some shit like that. Backflow. When I run my dishwasher downstairs at my house, sometimes water comes up through the sink just a little bit. That's backflow. They made a big deal about this on the picker list. They really did. And I thought that this was such a minute thing. I'll probably just address this for them if it makes them happy, whatever. They said we ran the dishwasher through a short cycle to determine it was functional and that the power source was functional. We cannot determine how it washes or dries dishes. It's a brand new fucking dishwasher, dude. How you think it's going to work? Microwave inspected. We ran the microwave through a short cycle to determine it was functional. It was functional. Food waste disposer inspected. Refrigerator not present. Washing machine not present. So they said for the overall appliances, we ran the range, the oven, the cooktops through a short cycle to determine if they were functional. They were functional. Cannot determine if all features work and how it will cook or warm. And we cannot determine how long it will last. Again, brand new appliances, dude. Come on, cut me some slack. You don't even mention that. You don't even mention that they're brand new. The date's printed right on there. You went and got the date off everything else, the water heater, the HVAC. Why ain't you do that? You ain't mentioned that anti-tip bracket that was installed. You didn't mention nothing that was good in this house. You just tried to body me on bullshit. Body me on bullshit. This home inspection's a lot of pulpit. Wait, is it not pulp? Pulpit's like a preacher. We're so close to the end of this thing. Let me hurry up and get through this. I'm sorry this video was so long, but I hope you guys have found some interest in this thing. They mentioned additional limitations, concerns, and or advice. We are at the end of this thing. In my opinion, the property shows signs of remodeling, renovations, change-outs, or additions after the original construction. This work may or may not have been performed by a licensed contractor with proper permits and code inspection. We suggest verifying with the local code authority to determine if this property was done properly and conforms to the building standards applicable at the time. Amateurish or unpermitted work can sometimes conceal poor workmanship or hidden defects. Is that something you say on all of your reports because you do so many flipped houses? I would imagine so. I don't take offense to that, but I do think you went into this with a preconceived notion that this bitch was flipped. You were going to dissect this thing to the fullest. You did. What you found was minimalistic at best. I mean, very minimal. No leaks, a shingle missing here, a wire not properly terminated there, some Quest piping. Structurally, we're sound. Electrically, same way. Everything worked correctly. You said that we had lights that weren't working, which there was a light bulb missing. You killed me with that one there. You also mentioned the height between the stairs and the ceiling. Ain't shit we can do about that. He mentions the hallway up top as well. At a minimum, be aware of these hazards. Just saying that the staircase is too narrow or the ceiling height clearance, it's going up the stairs. My stairs right here, they do the same damn thing. I got a duct to go up the stairs, okay? And then the hallway up top, hey, what are you going to do? He says, at the very least, be aware of these hazards. I'm not mad about this dude at all. I think he did a fantastic job. Oh, one final thing. Boy, he bodied me with this last thing. One final thing. He says the front right bedroom, what we were always calling the master, but we would realize that it wasn't the master. And that, you know, the room closest to the bathroom upstairs, that was the master. And then it was just a ensuite, like living room up there. He says also, the front right bedroom does not qualify as a bedroom. Making such areas a bedroom is considered a safety concern and should be avoided until requirements are met. Inspector recommends contacting local building and or zoning officials for more clarification. Having a licensed contractor make any needed corrections or improvements. Bedroom door must lead to a common area or a hallway, not into bedrooms. It does do that. But there ain't a damn thing you can do about that. Hey, that's the way the house was built. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay? I can't do a fucking thing about it. I couldn't put an access leading to stairs. It just didn't work. You see the hallway up there. There's no room for nothing. Like I said, I'm not mad at this inspection at all. I appreciate the fuck out of this inspection. Even though there were some things that were kind of confusingly worded, and even though when I first saw this yesterday, I was snapping. Boy, if you think if you think that sometimes I can have an attitude problem, you should have seen me yesterday when I was reading this joint, especially when I get to things like ensure that the laundry light is working, fix the laundry light that doesn't work. I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened with this inspection? So, I understand it now better because, you know, of the funny wording of things. So let's go through what they want me to address. That was everything that popped up on the house. Did I do a messed up job? You know I didn't. You're mad as hell that you can't hit that dislike button, you haters. But everybody else, I know you guys are super proud of me, and I'm super proud of myself too. I passed. I got through the worst type of a shakedown. This dude found everything. There was nothing that he couldn't find. And also, things that didn't pop up that I thought would. I mentioned that too. We got to hurry up. So here's what they want me to address. Repair damaged roof shingles. Ensure correct roof overhang. Not going to happen. Ensure abandoned chimneys are properly sealed to prevent water leakage. They are. Repair or replace damaged siding. I can do that. Repair loose fascia trim. Tap, tap. I can definitely do that. Install cabinet shelving. I'm not doing that. Another mention of repair damaged siding. One of them is on the garage. Or maybe there were two on the house. I can do the damaged siding. I got no issue with that. Ensure joist is properly notched. I can do that. That sounds like a big deal. I can do that. Repair or replace deteriorated or damaged wood and crawl space. That was that one section that they were talking about. It ain't gonna happen. That shit is not rotted out, falling through. Not gonna happen. So there's nothing I'm doing with that. Ensure plumbing pipes are supported. I can definitely do that. Replace polybutylene plumbing. Not happening. Not happening at all. Ensure circuit breaker panel is appropriately labeled and new circuit breaker box with new latches is installed. Not happening. I'll label the box. I'm not putting a new box on there, but maybe I can get a lock on there. I'll put a lock on there for you. Ensure electrical wiring is properly terminated. It is. There's two mentions of that actually. Ensure correct polarity for outlets in and out of home, ensuring appropriate GFCI protection. They did mention something about polarity on the back porch outlet, so maybe they are wanting me to replace that. I can do that, no big deal. I've got the WF, the WP GFCIs at the storage unit. I can do that. But in the garage, it's not going to happen. Install outlet cover plate over the microwave. That's why I missed that one. I could do that. Ensure laundry room light is operational. Ensure gas vent pipe for furnace is properly supported and has a proper cap. Well, I'll make sure it's properly supported, but a cap, the bitch goes out through the fucking chimney. How am I going to tell you if it's properly capped? Clean HVAC duct and install safety switch. Not installing a safety switch, but I'll clean out the duct. No. And there is a fucking safety switch. Oh, there's no cutoff. That's what it is. I was wondering what the safety switch was. So there's no emergency cutoff up there. There was a switch for the gas cutoff up there, and there's a switch in below. There's no safety cutoff for it. I don't know how much that will cost to do, and I don't really want to. We'll think about that one. We'll think about it. It's not that big of a deal, really. It just needs a cutoff. A cutoff somewhere. Whether it's a breaker right there, something, or an actual switch. Install insulation on condensate line and install sediment trap. Nah, I don't know about that sediment trap, boy. What is that? It's just a P-trap. We could go bust it all out today. We could make a day of it. Damon's available today. I could make a day of it, right? I don't really feel like it, though. I'm going to be honest. I told my realtors yesterday, I said, I'm tired of bending over backwards for these buyers, wanting everything. These things that you're asking for, some of them are minimal as shit. Cleaning the HVAC, for sure. That needs to happen. Putting the cutoff up there, it probably needs to be there, right? It probably needs to be there. But a lot of this shit, man, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. After 5 months and everything that we did up in this house, there were no issues, no active leaks, no electrical issues outside of, the box needing a lock or something. And, God, man, I'm just not feeling it. But anyway, let's keep going. Because some of these are new to me. Like, I'm looking at these for the first time, it almost feels like, especially after going through the inspection so thoroughly. Ensure that the condensation line, that we talked about, carries 3 to 4 feet away from the foundation of the home. That's not happening. Install vapor barrier in crawl space. There's plenty of vapor barrier down there. Not happening. Install gable and foundation vents to prevent wildlife from entering crawl space. I can definitely do that. Replace crawl space access board with plastic unit. I could definitely do that. And ensure dishwasher discharge line is looped in or looped up and secured to prevent waste from entering the dishwasher. Does it enter the dishwasher? I always figured it would enter the sink, but neither here nor there. So those are all the things they're asking for. The deal is this. I may say, hey, we'll go fix half of these things, but the other half, not going to happen at all. And maybe they say, nah, we want you to fix them all or we're pulling out. I really, really have to be like, okay, you know, you ain't going to carry me any type of a way, which I kind of feel like you would if I'm like, okay, well, fuck it, I'll do it. But is it really that big of a deal, these things that they're asking for? I mean, some of these things are fucking stupid, like install vapor barrier. Dog, we got the entire crawl space got vapor barrier. I did that. Trust me, I definitely did that. So here's the deal. And I hate to say this. I can be like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And I'll literally go take a picture of the shit that's already there because it's there. Right? Some of these things that you're asking for, make sure that the lights work. Oh man, I'm glad y'all caught that. Hey, look, I had to reroute the whole fucking, I had to reroute all the electrical, but we got it. It works. Install, terminate electrical properly. I'll go hit that bitch with my electrical tester. That wire is dead, sir. So there's no, it is properly terminated. Look, let me go ahead and wrap this video up. This thing is way too long as it is. I do apologize for this. I'm super satisfied with the findings of this home inspection. Dude was super thorough. And I think that there are definitely some legitimate things on this report. I think that there's a lot of things that, hey, ain't really that big of a deal, Stick. But you guys let me know exactly what you thought about this. How did we do? Did we pass? Did we fail? Trust me, if we would have failed, it would have looked a lot worse than it did. 81 pages. Took this guy 2 days to put this report together. I think we did damn good. And I'm glad that we had this type of a home inspection versus one that maybe goes in there and doesn't find too many things, right? Because then there's no way for people to say, oh, Joe, well, he just wasn't thorough enough. No, he definitely was thorough. Oh, also, there were 2 things that didn't pop up that I definitely thought would pop up. But now I'm not so sure that they're really needed. And one of them's kind of a big fucking deal. The first one is the plumbing underneath of the house, the water lines are not insulated with pool noodle type insulation that should go around that plumbing to prevent water lines from busting. There was no mention of that at all. All the mention was replace the plumbing, right? Even though there's no leaks at all. So that didn't pop up, and I definitely thought that would. The other thing was there's not a fucking lick of insulation, not near freaking insulation underneath that house. I've looked this up this morning, as a matter of fact, deep. And there were so many different things about, yes, it's absolutely a requirement. You have to have it. Yet there's so many homes that don't have it. And articles that mention pros and cons versus, having insulation underneath in your crawl space versus not. And I'm sure that the pros are a lot better than the cons are and a lot more. But it doesn't seem like, and maybe some guy might say that it is a requirement. But why didn't it pop up on the home inspection? Obviously, it wasn't that big of a deal for him not to mention it. And this guy was, RoboCop up in this house. Look it up if you don't believe me. Do you need insulation under the house? And I mean, look it up in depth. Don't just go with the first thing that you say where it's going to see. The first thing that you see that's going to say yes, because it's going to be some company saying, yes, you need it. Let us come do it for you. Look it up. It's kind of interesting how deep that rabbit hole really goes. Folks, that's all I got for you. You guys let me know what you thought about this. I think we did amazing with the inspection. And I'm glad to see that it went the way that it did. I'm going to wrap this up. I'll look forward to talking with you guys again real soon and looking forward to seeing what you have to say about this and how we fared. And until then, take care.